At 21, Emma had never had a boyfriend. She grew up in a strict household where her parents had emphasized education first and foremost. She never questioned their rules since her parents were both academics and they had always provided sound advice for her while growing up. She was in college and received good grades and also had great friends. But the one thing that eluded her the most was love, and that was what made her sad. There were plenty of good-looking men at her college, but being in their presence made her nervous. They seemed like an entirely different species, even though she knew logically that they were just human beings. Recently, she had made efforts to get out of her shell and be less nervous around the opposite sex. Her friend Julie entered her dorm room. "Are you ready for the school dance?" she asked. "Yep." Emma nodded as she put on the last of her makeup. There was a guy in her creative writing class that she really liked. Julie had encouraged her to talk to him. He actually responded to her, and he seemed to like her too. Zach was tall, handsome, and the poetry he presented in class made her swoon. She thought about him constantly, and even dreamed about being his girlfriend. She was going to the dance in the hopes that she might meet Zach there. She might even gather her courage and ask him to dance with her. At that thought, her heart skipped a beat. Emma and Julie made their way across the campus, and when they entered the large hall, they immediately joined their circle of friends. The school had converted the central open space into a large dance venue. The lights were turned off, and the strobe lights streaked randomly in every direction. A local band was playing, the beats from their drum reverberating across the room. The lead singer, meanwhile, belted out a cover version of one of Emma's favorite songs. The energy in the room was electrifying, and everyone bounced and bobbed to the thundering rhythms. As Emma swayed her body to the music, her eyes searched for Zach. There he was, but then her heart dropped to the floor, and it felt as though thousands of feet trampled on it. Zach was pressed against a pretty girl, kissing her in the middle of the dance floor, uncaring that there were people around. But Emma noticed there were other people too who were dancing intimately with each other. She turned to her friend and then discovered that Julie was flirting with a guy from her class. Suddenly, Emma felt sick to her stomach. She grabbed her friend's arm and leaned closer to her. "I'm gonna go," she said loudly so she could be heard over the noise. "Are you okay?" Julie asked, a concerned look on her face. Emma felt a lump in her throat and was afraid she would burst out crying. She made a gesture with her hand and quickly left the dance floor. When she made it back to her dorm, she ran into the bathroom. She stared at the mirror, the tears streaming down her face. What was wrong with her? Was she ugly? Her eyes searched the young woman reflected in the mirror and saw someone who looked perfectly normal. She didn't appear hideous, and she had no physical deformities. But then why couldn't she find a boyfriend? A sob racked her body, and all the despair, loneliness, and rejection she experienced since the start of college came to the surface, and she sank to the floor. Her heart was in tatters. She really thought she had a chance with Zach, but as it turned out, he already had a girlfriend. Emma decided that she would end up being an old maid for the rest of her life. That thought made her cry even harder. She went on her knees and laced her fingers together. She tilted her face to the ceiling. "Please, God, help me," she said, sobbing, the pain squeezing at her heart as she spoke. She continued with her prayers, telling God about her loneliness and desperation. All she wanted was someone to love her, and for that person to love her in return. Was that too much to ask? When she was done, her tears had dried up, and she became quiet. The feeling of despair had vanished. Emma returned to her room and pulled out a notebook and a pen. She sat at her desk and wrote down all the things she desired in a partner. She then closed the notebook and raised her eyes to the ceiling again. "God, please help me find my true love. Thank you." Suddenly, she felt a strange sense of peace. She felt certain that God had heard her pleas. 2 months went by, and Emma became busy with schoolwork and meeting up with her friends. She no longer felt the desperate need to find a boyfriend. There was so much going on in her life that she even forgot about the meltdown that she had in the bathroom. One day, Julie brought home one of her classmates and introduced Noah to Emma. The two of them hit it off, and they started hanging out. She had a lot in common with Noah, and most importantly, his positive energy made her feel good. He clearly liked Emma, and the feeling was mutual. And the more they got to know each other, the more things they found in common. They continued to see each other and were happy to become a couple. At the end of the school year, Emma was cleaning up her desk, and she spotted her notebook. With her memory triggered, she flipped the pages open. Her jaw dropped when she read the things she had listed about her true love. Noah possessed every single one of those qualities. Her heart flooded with gratitude. She pressed her hands together. "Thank you, God," she said. Emma had asked God for help to find her true love, and He delivered. What did you guys think of the story? Please comment in the comment section below. I can't wait to read your answers and discussions. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to hear the latest story. Until next time, bye!